Hi guys, today we are going to discuss about the sensory innervation of dorsum of foot. In the dorsum of foot, there are four main nerves, that is the superficial peroneal nerve, sural nerve, deep peroneal nerve, and the saphenous nerve. The superficial peroneal nerve, it provides sensory innervations to most of the dorsum of foot except the skin cleft between the first and second toes. Next is the deep peroneal nerve. It provides innervation to the cleft between first and second. Sural nerve. It supplies the lateral margin of little toe. Saphenous nerve. It supplies the medial margin of dorsum of foot up to the head of first metatarsal. The muscles present in the dorsum of the foot are extrinsic tendons of the muscles of the anterior compartment of the leg, namely tibialis anterior, extensor hallucis longus, extensor digitorum longus, and peroneus statuus. Intrinsic muscle on the dorsum of the foot is only one, the extensor digitorum brevis, as shown in the figure. The extensor digitorum brevis is a small muscle situated on the lateral part of the dorsum of the foot, deep to the tendons of extensor digitorum longus. It is the only muscle present on the dorsum of the foot which forms a fleshy swelling. Sometimes it is confused by the early doctors of fresh as a contusion, which means the region of a tissue where the capillaries are ruptured. Let us see the origin and insertion of extensor digitorum brevis. Origin. It arises from the anterior part of the superior surface of calcaneum, medial to the attachment of the stem of the inferior extensor retinaculum. Insertion. The muscle divides into four tendons for the medial four toes and get attached to the base of the proximal phalanx of second, third, and fourth toes. It is supplied by the lateral terminal branch of deep peroneal nerve. Another interesting fact about this muscle is the formation of extensor hallucis brevis. Medialmost part of the extensor digitorum brevis, which forms the tendon for the big toe, separates or becomes distinct early. It is known as extensor hallucis brevis, which means that extensor hallucis brevis is derived or formed from the extensor digitorum brevis muscle. Let us learn about the dorsal pedis artery. The dorsal pedis artery is a direct continuation of the anterior tibial artery in front of the ankle. It begins in front of the ankle between the medial and lateral malleoli. It passes forward along the medial side of the dorsum of the foot to reach the proximal end of the first intermetatarsal space, where it dips downwards between the two heads of first dorsal interossei muscle to enter the sole of foot. Let us see the branches of dorsal pedis artery. The branches are lateral and medial tarsal arteries that take part in the formation of lateral medial malleolar arterial networks. Next is the arcuate artery. It gives three dorsal metatarsal arteries, each of which divides into two dorsal digital arteries for the lateral four toes. This is a twig to little toe. First, dorsal metatarsal artery. It arises before the dorsal pedis artery dips into the sole. It gives off dorsal digital arteries to the lateral sides and a twig to a medial side of the big toe. Let us see the relations of dorsal pedis artery. Superficially, the dorsal pedis artery is crossed from lateral to medial side by the extensor hallucis brevis muscle. As you can see, this is the extensor hallucis brevis muscle and this is the dorsal pedis artery. So it lies superficial to that, crossing it from lateral to medial side. Next, laterally it is bound by extensor digitorum longus tendons, especially the first tendon of the extensor digitorum longus. It is bounds the dorsal pedis artery laterally. Medially, it is bounded by extensor hallucis brevis tendon over here. Deep to this artery there is ankle joint and tarsal bones. Dorsal pedis artery pulse. It can be easily felt between the tendons of extensor hallucis longus and tendon of extensor digitorum longus. It is often palpated in patients suffering from vaso-occlusive diseases of the lower limb, namely Buerger's disease, in which the blood vessel swells and blood gets clot inside the blood vessels. The clinicians feeling this pulse should know that the dorsal pedis artery is congenitally absent in about 14% of the cases. In such cases, the absence of dorsal pedis pulse should be confirmed by the posterior tibial artery pulse.